Hello, my name is Nate DeChambeau, and this is my final project for Psych 314. The topic I chose from class to base my work around is conditioning, both operant and classical. I'll be utilizing and demonstrating this subject by attempting to condition my roommates to do the dishes more. I share a kitchen with several other people in my house, and we all tend to cook a lot. I usually do the dishes as I go, or right afterwards, since I am an ideal roommate and the pinnacle of human perfection. But the same cannot be said for those who share my living space. Often our kitchen is crowded with dirty dishes, which remain there for days on end. Now, when I first started this project, I forced myself to take a few steps back. After all, these were my friends, people I've known for years now. I love being around them, and I value their companionship. Does some small matter like dishes really warrant a whole experiment of psychological manipulation? I mean, I could just talk to them. Is it really worth it? Yes. So, I formulated a two-step plan. Step 1, I would classically condition my roommates to associate dishes with a sound, in this case, a double knock. I would do this both by sounding the noise when they were doing the dishes, and when I mentioned doing them, such as in this example.
Dishes are starting to pile up again, by the way.
I know. According to a journal article from 2018, classical conditioning, more commonly known as Pavlovian conditioning, forms an association between two events. These events must occur close together. In this example, the double knock acted as a conditioned stimulus, which became associated with the concept of doing the dishes. Originally, I was not going to include this step and rely solely on operant conditioning. However, I realized I would be relying on my roommates choosing to do the dishes of their own volition, and my behavior would be reactionary. And clearly that wasn't going to work. Overall, this step was not particularly effective. My roommates showed no particular inclination to do the dishes upon hearing the sound. This could be due to not having enough trials to condition them to the double knock, or because of other variables that I'll discuss later. The second step of my diabolical master plan revolved around operant conditioning. This type of conditioning, as described in a research article by Kendra Chari, involves punishment and reward for behavior in order to cause it to decrease or increase, respectively. This behavior, or doing the dishes, is what was coined by B.F. Skinner as operant behavior, or behavior under our conscious control. I attempted to increase this behavior in my roommates by offering reward after it occurred. The reward was an Oreo, lemon to be precise, so obviously a very good motivator. The Oreo served as a positive reinforcer, as it was something I gave to my roommates to increase the behavior. Now, at this point, I feel as though I should address some issues of concern. As a paper by Remen et al. Mentions in their section about issues of concern, using conditioning methods on other people can be questionable, ethics-wise, bordering on immoral. The paper points out how it can be used to exploit others, which is clearly wrong. That is why I've decided to use early psychological researchers as role models, people like Harry Harlow and Philip Zimbardo. Following their example, I've ignored my moral compass and continued with my research because it benefits me. So, the $100 question. Did it all work? No. Unfortunately, I noticed no difference in dish doing before and after my experiments. But I have a few theories on why. 1. My roommates are incredibly stubborn, and it would take a miracle of biblical-level proportions to get them to do the dishes. However, I can't prove this using science, so this theory will have to be discounted. 2. As I mentioned earlier, my classical conditioning wasn't as effective as it would be ideal. I likely didn't have enough acquisition trials to associate the sound with the concept and behavior of doing the dishes. 3. My operant conditioning wasn't able to be as effective as I originally planned, for several reasons. 1. I just wasn't able to do it very much. I had to do the dishes first in order for me to reward them for doing such, and as I've mentioned before, this didn't happen very often. Additionally, sometimes when they would do the dishes, I wasn't home, and I wouldn't be able to reward them until later. As we learned in class, the reward needs to follow soon afterwards to be associated. And 4. Other variables complicated the issue. Much of my research took place after Thanksgiving break, when classes were really starting to ramp up. Everyone had finals, big projects, papers. Let's watch that clip again.
Dishes are starting to pile up again, by the way.
I know. And I will clean them as soon as I'm done with my project.
Clearly, schoolwork should take precedence over tedious chores. So is it really a surprise that in this haze of work, some dishes went undone? Of course not. Everyone has other things to do, I understand that. But Nate, you may ask, if you understand this, then why are you passively-aggressively making a whole psychology project out of it? Bite. My main takeaway from all this is that experiments on humans are very difficult to control. There are too many extraneous variables that can affect the results, and people's ability to think, procrastinate, and ignore becomes a major detriment. Now, there are two strategies that I haven't tried yet. Number one, I could sit down and have a mature talk with my roommates, explain that the dishes bother me, and set up a plan to do them more frequently. This is clearly the best and most effective method, but I can't use it to demonstrate learning principles, so I won't be doing it. The second strategy...
Hey, Connor.
Yo, what's up?
The dishes kind of need to be done. Would you mind doing them for me?
Nah, I'm busy.
Maybe I stuttered. I said do the dishes!
What the